welcome home.
Eric Latin, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Karibu sana, Kenya's biggest conversation. This 11th day of November 2024 at 8 minutes after 7. We are broadcasting from the Standard Group Center, Spice FM on KTN and YouTube and Facebook and X and TikTok and Radio Garden and all those places. And City, we always say there are people who watch the conversation live and then there are people who watch the conversation hours, days later. So let's say hello to those who are watching this conversation hours later.
Yes.
We appreciate the fact that you are going onto YouTube or even on TikTok or whatever, and you are catching the conversation. It's never too late, and we thank you for it. Our conversation now is going to look at what's happened over the weekend, the politics of the weekend, right? So coming towards the end of the week, Thursday, Catholic bishops did the thing. And then the same Thursday, government did the thing. And then come Saturday, they all met, government and bishops.
And they did the thing.
In Embu. They did the thing. Yesterday in church, again, politicians were doing the thing. Newly, freshly minted opposition leader, Rigathi Gachagua, said whatever he was saying. It's here. It's a headline in the Standard. Gachagua is asking,
Sasa.
Is life better now that I've been impeached?
Okay. Gachagua ndiye alikuwa anapandisha unga. Gachagua hayuko. Sasa.
Sasa. Aya. All those things that I said. The former opposition leader Raila Odinga, who's now he's no longer the party leader of ODM, actually. So he's asking questions about CDF. MPs have apparently formed a committee to protect CDF. All those things. That's what we want to have a conversation with Professor Gitila Naintuli, who is an ex-commissioner of the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. Prof, good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Very good. Karibu sana. It's good to have you here. And then we're also joined by lawyer Ochieng Dudley. He is a partner at Bond Advocates. Hey. Bond Advocates. Okay. Hey. Good morning.
Morning, Latif.
Good to have you here as well.
Yeah.
Karibu sana. So the two of you, I have a message for you from Stanbic Bank. You know Stanbic?
Yes.
Very good. Now, Stanbic is not just like a small bank. Stanbic is a big bank. And especially when it comes to private banking, which is talking to the two of you, partner at Bond Advocates and former commissioner, professor, lecturer. You people are the ones who need private banking. Because private banking for you is one-on-one personalized service, right? Stanbic Bank has been voted by Global Finance as the best bank in private banking.
That's good.
Okay? And it's not the first time they have been winning these accolades. It has become normal. In fact, they're like a private bank, we know. Just bring the award. They know it. And they say the private banking service is designed for those who seek more than just transaction. It's for individuals who desire seamless financial solutions that elevate every aspect of your life. Stanbic Bank is more than banking. It's about building a legacy, right?
Well,
the kind of service that you get from them is about building a legacy.
Congratulations to them.
Yeah. Very good. So they are saying, come, Dudley, let's talk. When you go there, you'll find people who are trained on matters of financial planning and financial advisors. You can ask them. You say you're trained, let me see, they'll show you certificates.
Okay.
It's not just maneno ati mudomo too. No, they don't just do mudomo. So talk to Stanbic Bank today.
Okay.
City will welcome you with the day's proverb. The last week he was in Kenya. This week he's moved into another country. City, where are we this week?
We are in the Republic of Burundi. Now, we are actually in the region of Sub-Saharan Africa, and we'll be here for quite a while. Okay, last week we visited the country of Kenya. This week we are visiting the proverbs in the country of Burundi. And the thing you need to know about Burundi, for the longest time it was a kingdom. And they had a king. But the thing about it is their process of multi-party democracy came with very many problems. It came with a 12-year war. It had been preceded by genocide, where community members of that particular country, very many people lost their lives. And the first leader they actually had after when they introduced multi-party democracy, that gentleman was assassinated 3 months after he had been sworn in. That now led the country into a civil war. There's something about that region. We were in Congo last week, DRC, they had similar problems. And they lost very many people. Over 4 million people died. So the thing about colonialism and the legacy they leave, apparently when it comes to finding ways or finding our path, we will find that we've had problems in certain countries in this region where the people who bore the brunt of it were the citizenry.
Yeah.
Okay. You might want to know who the president of that particular country
Of
is.
Burundi.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so I will tell you.
Uh-huh.
It's called Evariste Ndayishimiye. That is the president. Then he has a vice president. The vice president is called Prosper Bazombanza. That's his name. Then they have a prime.
Prosper Bazombanza.
Yes. Let me repeat it. I'm not making up the name. That's his name.
Yeah.
Bazombanza.
Okay.
That is his name. Then they have a prime minister called. This name, I am probably going to massacre it, but let me just say it. Gervais, Gervais, Ndirakumbuka. Okay? Now,
Akumbuki.
tukimkumbusha atakumbuka. Theirs is what you call a unitary dominant party presidential republic.
Okay.
Okay? Now the proverb. According to the cow, God has a wet nose.
According to the cow, God has a wet nose. Prof, what's your interpretation?
That's an interesting one. According to the cow. I think that's a really good one. Except it's very hard to figure out what he's really saying here. According to the cow, God has a wet
Nose.
Yeah, when you are trying to interpret a proverb, you have to look the lesson in the proverb.
Yeah.
And it's hard to figure out that lesson if you don't know the circumstances under which the proverb emerges. So that proverb emerges in an interesting situation there in Burundi, Rwanda. It's the same thing. What he went through, why that place is unstable. It's the instability in Burundi and Rwanda is different from the instability in the Congo. The Congo is about the Mzungu trying to extract the resources there, so they must keep those people busy fighting. Now, these other fellows is the pharaoh when the Mzungu came, the kingdom was basically Tutsi-dominated kingdom, both Rwanda and Burundi. And then the Mzungu came trying to bring up the Hutus in order to divide that and rule. And so the Hutus eventually took power. They didn't take it nicely. So there was massacres on both sides. Now, when you look at that, you see usually cows are associated with a lot of peace. Because cows don't have a lot of issues with anyone. So if you look at the chaotic situation where they are, maybe they are talking about peaceful coexistence. But according to the cow, God has a wet nose.
meaning God is like them.
Meaning God is like the cow. Yeah. They're talking about peace. Because they really need it in that region. It's been extremely destabilized.
You've really tried this one, Prof.
Yeah.
I'm a Chambo historian.
Wakili, what do you think?
I'll go by his take. Maybe the cow thinks God is like him. Because God says, made in my image. So according to the cow, God has a wet nose like the cow has.
The dadly knows cows that read the Bible.
Worship.
Yes.
Worship. What do you think the Burundians are saying? The proverb is saying?
I'm not so sure. Perhaps I'll go by Prof's interpretation of that one. Yeah.
That there is war and so there is peace. And this proverb.
It's a hard one.
No, it's a hard one. But when you look at it, anything related to the cow, not just from the perspective of us, the pastoralists.
Yes.
like the Maasai, even in India, the cow is the highest level of evolution. You see, if you look at the Bhagavad Gita, the Indian religious text,
Yes.
it's about people evolving to higher levels of consciousness. So there are several of them. There is God consciousness, there is unity consciousness, there is cosmic consciousness. So, and that evolution creates a complete person, eventually a godly person. The cow is the highest expression of the level of development in existence. It's very peaceful. I mean, maybe they're the ones they train to fight and so on, the bulls and all that. But basically, the cow is the real expression of peace and therefore the real expression of God. So,
Prof, from just looking at the last 1 week,
yes,
right?
yes.
Let's just say the last 10 days in the country, and what has been said. So we have, on the same day, for example, on Thursday, the Catholic bishops issue a statement in which they list a number of issues that they say that these issues require serious conversations. As that is going on, President Ruto is chairing a cabinet meeting. And in that cabinet meeting, they're looking at statistics and data from government agencies. And those statistics are actually showing things are looking much better. Inflation has gone back to 2008. If you look at the kind of harvest that we've had in the country, our silos are full. In fact, our sugar right now, we don't need to import sugar. We
For the
have
first time in a long time.
Yeah. If you look at our interest rates are coming down, our currency has stabilized, and so on and so forth. We have rolled out, according to the government, successfully, just save for a few hitches here and there, a very new, robust and equitable system of treating the people. That's one. And then the Catholic Church is saying the other thing. And there was an issue there. What do you read of that?
Well, first, you just wonder what the kind of economy surrounding the president.
Why?
Because, you see, inflation can go down simply because you don't have money to spend. You don't have money to buy those things. So they continue piling up both in the shamba, they continue piling up in the store. You see, if you, for example, let's say, take the unga or the sugar you said, so it was 200 shillings. Before, now it's 100. So what is happening is nobody has even that 100 to buy that sugar.
Is that what's happening?
Okay, the economy, of course, that's what's happening. You know, if you want to know whether there's economy.
So what are they eating?
No, people are, you see, when you are not, it doesn't mean totally you are starving. It simply means you have restricted your consumption. Okay? Because the how to look doesn't look very good. I'm not sure if you need to get out of this room to know that the economy isn't good. I used to come here, and this place was full of workers. Every desk here was occupied. I'm now finding 5 people. I mean, this is a very good example. So you go to, there's this road where they buy used car parts. You never used to find where to put your car. Now you can literally park it anywhere, and you will see it even if you are 1 kilometer, because there's no vehicles parked there. So the economic activity is extremely low, and if it is low, then things cannot be that rosy. So it is better than get honesty with the people, because honesty is a value that we are trying to undermine, that we are undermining. That's why you see even the response to the Catholics was fairly violent in the beginning. I mean, there was 7 responses in different ministries, meaning that not just that we are establishing a culture which they were objecting to, culture of lie, but we are also establishing a culture of refusal to accept feeding back. Okay, because feeding back is crucial. You see, the public is the mirror through which the leaders reflect themselves. So the church, because it's the alternative leadership, is a perfect mirror now to give that feedback. But when that feedback is not appreciated, it means we are not learning. We need to appreciate the feedback from the church.
Okay.
But one caution, though, I wouldn't give them. is that the church was there before the state. You see, before the state came into existence, the church existed before. So you can't go against the church, you won't win because it's older. It has more accumulated knowledge over the years, and then it carries the moral authority, especially the Catholic Church. There's different types of churches you have to understand. In Kenya, there is the charismatic churches, which are really businesses. They are not existing for spiritual.
Pause. You need to correct that statement. If you say charismatic churches are businesses, there may be some that could be labeled as businesses, but to say they are all businesses, that may not be accurate.
Yeah, a lot of them. That's why the other day, the government wanted to tax them. We just had the president developed a golden defeat, and they within reimbursed and put it. It was there for taxing them because they are really businesses. This is the honest thing we need to address ourselves to. I think some of them are even called them kiosk. One of them, was it Nganga or somebody? Pastor Nganga said, I will close those kiosks because of I don't know what problem was having with them. So most of those charismatic churches are businesses.
What makes them a business?
What makes them a business is how they operate. Okay? You see, if you take the Catholic Church, for example, or the mainstream churches, if you want, those churches, they basically operate like a government. They have schools, they have hospitals, okay? They offer services that couldn't be offered by the state. Now, the other churches, what they have is very nice buildings. And they also, the one mainly used by the politicians for the purposes of accessing power. Because, the poorer people are also the more faithful they become to the priests or the pastors or the bishops. They call them bishops and all those kind of names. Now, those charismatic fellows are actually a danger to Kenya. If you ask me.
We will have that discussion at a later date. Dudley, you want to say something?
Yeah, before we move too far away from the church as a moral compass, about 2 months ago, the Chief Justice Mutunga was to appear at Kabarak with someone called Justus Mutuku for a discussion on the role of church and politics in Kenya. And I wondered on my ex whether the church had become a peeping Tom, looking at happenings through a keyhole in the wall, as someone called Arthur Koestler said. Arthur Koestler was one of those absurdists. We heard about the absurdists recently when Gachagua told Parliament that it had become the theater of the absurd. The right of Bennett, Kina Bennett, the one who said waiting for Godot. And now, I think that the church has shown that it's not really a peeping Tom. It's just been observing, and now its patience has run out. It's gone out of patience. And Prof. Naituli is right that the church can tell what's happening. Why? Because, for example, these churches run a lot of mission hospitals. I was born in one myself, not run by the Catholic Church, but by a different church, and went to one my entire life growing up in the place where I grew up. And so these churches know when She is not working. They know when the sham is shamming. They know when children are not accessing education. Why? Because they conduct fundraisers for these children, because the churches themselves run a lot of schools, and they know when things are not going the right way. Maybe that's why the government got so alarmed, and we saw the flurry of statements. I think the government ilikuwa imekuwa kadi. It was ready to move the narrative. Yes. And then the church comes and says, no. We need to stop this culture of lies that you are selling to the people. Things are hard on the ground. We are burying the people who die from this scam weekly. We can see the way our hospitals are because of this issue of sham and that kind of thing. And so the church knows what's happening, and it's the pulse. And I think that the root of example knows the power of the church is ridden on it to power, and is now gone back to a strategy that he loves so much, the strategy of co-option. You know, the church speaks on Thursday, and on Saturday, was it Saturday?
On Friday.
On Friday.
He's at a graduation.
Yes.
At Tangaza University, which is run by
the Catholic Church.
All right. On Saturday, he's in Embu for the consecration of a bishop who is
a Catholic
bishop. On Sunday, he is in church at a Catholic church.
Kayole. And just a moment, while he's there,
right,
in Kayole, he does something he loves. 5 million. Or was it 3 million?
He donated
for the father's house.
And the church accepted.
And then he gives 300 for building, I think, a children's home that the church funds, co-option. And I was at a media station about a week ago, and I said that maybe that is what had happened. The church had been co-opted, because co-option is a strategy that Ruto loves and he thrives on. A week after elections, he buys majority by incorporating the members of UDM who had belonged to Azimio. That's how he gets majority in the Houses of Parliament, and which he has used to pass some of the unpopular policies. So co-option. And I wonder if the church is going to return this 3 million envelope. Would you return it if it were you, Latif?
They took it. They'd have said no to it yesterday.
Yeah.
Right there on the spot.
For me, the president's friends is actually the church, which is telling him his blind corner, which is telling him what he is not seeing. His friends are not those people lambasting the church. His friends is not himself, if he can't see the advice the church is giving. Because what happens is that, you see, the church lives with us. My friend is saying here, the people who can't get the dialysis, the church is burying them on a daily basis. The children who can't go to school, the church knows that. The families that are not able to feed themselves because of the economic downturn, the church knows that, because the church lives in the villages. So the president should have been extremely happy about the statement, should have grabbed it and corrected the things that they pointed out.
Do you think he grabbed it? Do you think
I think
look at how he forget about the immediate Thursday response by the various ministries.
Yes.
Let's look at the president himself. When he appeared at the Tangaza University, Tangaza College graduation, how he spoke. He said, as you are correcting me, just also be cautious not to go and give false reports.
No, it's
as you may fall into that same category that you're accusing me of falling in. All right? And then on Saturday, he says, I received this message from the church. So we have this understanding, and maybe I'll finish the week with by going to, again, church, so that we can have a conversation. The president, did not blow up this whole issue. He said, we hear you. But at the same time, we were seeking to explain, saying this is what we've done on health, this is what we've done on housing, this is what we are doing on education, this and the other. The matters that the church was raising, he was attempting to respond in that crowd. So, like Dudley saying, he's getting in there and, being very nice and jovial. And I hear what you're saying.
Let me tell you this. Whatever you have done something successfully, you have absolutely no need to explain it. It will explain itself. Every time you feel that you have to explain something, know that you have not done it properly. It's not successful. Okay? So, I think I listened to him in Tangaza. At the Tangaza, he had not really gotten the message, but I think he later did. Because at Tangaza, he also accused them of not
being factual.
Proper education even. And the most educated Kenyans we have is those Catholic fellows. They are extremely educated. They go to school properly. You see, for them, what they do is a calling. You take, like Muheria, for example. He has a degree in structural engineering from University of Nairobi. So he's just not a priest, but he's a thoroughly educated Kenyan. But because they have a special calling, then they become clergy. Now, if you try now to think, that's what I'm saying, it's very hard to compare the charismatic churches with the established one. Is the charismatic ones usually education is shallow. Okay, these are just very nice, very clever Kenyans who designed that they can make a living by starting the church, and then they train themselves or they are trained somewhere. But the other fellows to qualify to preach the Methodist Church, the Catholic Church, you have to go to school properly, a proper school.
Prof, what I took exception to is not the reality of what you're saying, if we were to segment it, but a generalization. That is what I took exception to. Because some of these charismatic churches that you refer to have people who are just as educated as the ones you refer to.
Yeah, some of
and
them
they're just
too.
as structured.
Yeah.
Then they're then they're the briefcase
That
pocket
is
ones.
why the government is calling for regulation.
Yes.
Because, I mean, you get some fellow like the Shakaola guy. How much education do you think that man has? What is his name? There's a man of the Shakaola.
It's called Mackenzie.
How much education do you think Mackenzie has? But he has followers, he has people. So you can go and get them. I know some of them, the bishops. I know a lot of, some of them are even governors, those fellows, because, you can get this power through the church. Because if you have several of them post, what you are correct. It's not all of them.
No, it is
But
not.
the majority of them, that is why Rwanda,
A good number of them.
that is why Rwanda is insistent.
And if you say majority, Prof, I'm going to ask you to give figures.
Yes.
So let's say a good number of them are that way inclined.
That's good English.
Yes.
I accept that.
Let's take a break then at 26 minutes to 8. Our guest this morning, Ocheng Dudley is a lawyer, and Professor Kitila Naichuli is a former commissioner with the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. We're looking at the politics and governance in the country for the past 1 week. We've been talking about Stanbic Bank. Stanbic voted number 1, Kenya's number 1 bank in private banking. Bank easily means experience seamless and personalized banking. Live joyfully means experience life's finest moments with curated offers and privileges in dining, shopping, travel, accommodation, all tailored to you and your family's lifestyle preferences. We talk about invest skillfully. That means that we support your financial growth, offering a range of carefully curated investment solutions. Plan wisely means your well-being and that of your loved one is our top priority. Now, if you're thinking about all those things and you need banking that's just beyond putting money and withdrawing money and being called and being told, oh, you took a loan and you've not repaid, and you're thinking that you want someone who will to walk the journey with you, think Stanbic Bank.
Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
I know mko na talent.